trivial to many of you sitting here this morning, but it's not trivial to the Ukrainians. It's tied to their sense of national identity and ethnic history. So, which of these spellings is the correct one? Well, Wikipedia includes both of them because both are verifiable. Both are established and credible. So applying that methodology to our church, we can't prove or disprove the existence of God. What we can do is provide a valid basis on which to make our claims. According to Whitsitt, the open source worldview holds that we each inhabit different contextual realities. Your reality and mine will most certainly be different, but because we both have a valid basis on which to make our claims, we will need to learn how to live with the tension. So invariably, someone will say that this means that we can believe anything that we want to believe. And so I want you to keep in mind that phrase, established and credible. Established and credible. Our Unitarian Universalist search for the truth is grounded in what is established and what is credible, in liberal religion, in Unitarian Universalism. Okay, so what is that? Well, our UU principles, which we just shared in Reading Responsibly, are a great source of what we together consider established and credible. We affirm the worth and dignity of every person. We seek justice, equity, and compassion in human relationships. We see ourselves as part of the interdependent web of existence. We encourage each other to grow spiritually. We are seekers of truth and meaning. Being an honest religion also means speaking openly of difficult and uncomfortable truths, even unpopular ones, like sex education. A few years ago, Unitarian Universalist minister Deborah Hafner appeared on an O'Reilly Factor segment called Kitty Sex Ed. Sounds like O'Reilly, doesn't it? She and Bill O'Reilly debated sex education for elementary school children. They clearly had different truths about sex education. O'Reilly asked her what a kindergarten teacher should say if a child asks where babies come from. Hafner began to respond, and she said, "In a special place inside a woman, there is a uterus, and inside the uterus, a baby begins to grow." O'Reilly interrupted. "No. 5-year-olds, I don't want a uterus. It's beyond their capacity to understand." Hafner went on to explain that children need to know the correct names of their body parts, while O'Reilly shook his head emphatically no as she spoke. Hafner sees her work in this area as religious work. She says sexuality education is a religious issue, and that we have a commitment to helping young people develop a moral conscience, including an ability to make healthy decisions. We have, she says, a religious commitment to truth-telling, which means that people should have full and accurate information, not biased and censored. Well, and when it comes to honesty, let's face it, there aren't too many churches where your minister is going to say the word uterus from the pulpit. But some of you might prefer that to the next subject which we're honest about, the pledge drive. Talking about money can make people squirm in their seats more than Bill O'Reilly squirmed in his during that interview with Deborah Hacknell. I'm grateful that in this congregation we are becoming more direct on this issue, that we are working through our discomfort. We have made generosity part of our mission statement. How amazing is that? Our congregation runs a balanced budget, and it continues to grow in generosity every year. And we've done this through the economic downturns. The reason, I think the main reason, is that you've been called to make the church one of your primary financial commitments, and many of you have stepped up to do that. There's no way that we would have the new sound system we have in place if we weren't generous. There's no way we would be running a food pantry or participating in Family Promise without a commitment to being generous. We wouldn't have a music program or religious education or a clean building. We do this through the pledge drive, and we need to be honest about it. This is a time of year when we ask our members and our friends to make a financial commitment for the next fiscal year that begins July 1. You've heard Laura Carson talk about why her family contributes. I was really fascinated, actually, to hear what she said this morning, because she said, we contribute a lot financially because we aren't able to do as much as we would like to do. And that intrigued me because she's serving on the pledge drive. She does these vouchers and is involved in other ways, and her husband Jeff serves on the board of directors. So, yeah. So, I encourage you all to be slackers. What I ask of you is that you search your hearts and your minds, that you look at your budgets, that you assess your family situation honestly. We ask those who can to stretch themselves and to be especially generous, using Fair Share guidelines as a guideline. They are a guideline. We ask you to strive toward the 3% or the 5% giving level. Those who are on a fixed income, those who have recently lost a job, those who are underemployed, or who are having some kind of a financial challenge in your lives, you belong here too. You belong here as much as anyone else. And I encourage you to move toward economic stability for yourself and your family first. This is very important that you know this. Take care of yourself and your family first, and then give as generously as